how's everyone doing? I hope you're doing well. I hope that you are enjoying the week. June is coming to an end. We're entering into the second half of the year, and we thank God for all His goodness, for all His mercies, for taking care of us. And yeah, it's a wonderful day here. The sun is shining, people are wearing dresses, slippers, shorts. Town is very, very packed today. And today I said, well, why don't I bring you outside and answer some of your questions? I'd like to say a very big thank you to all of you who showed me love on my last video. Thank you for all the comments, thank you for the likes, thank you for subscribing, thank you for the support. And today I thought I would come and answer your questions because I got so many questions from you guys asking about being a healthcare assistant. Some of you had very, very specific questions, and these are not questions that I can completely exhaust in the comment section. So I thought, hey, why don't I make a video and answer your questions? So if you want to see more of this video, if you want to receive some of the answers to your questions, please keep watching. Of course, while you're at it, don't forget to like, comment and share. And if you haven't already, do subscribe, and let's get into the video. Alright guys, so I'm going to start answering your questions. A lot of the questions were very, very similar, and so I'm just going to do my best to answer all the different questions that you've asked. And if I cannot answer any question, I will link below YouTubers that can answer the question better than I can. YouTubers who have made many, many videos on the questions that you've asked, and even links and resources that you can read on or you can look up to answer your questions. Okay, so I'm going to be looking down because I have my notebook here and I've written down the questions that I want to answer today. All right, let's get into it. One person asked, says, is the £12.50 taxed at the end of the week? When did you get your GMC registration and how many applications have you done? Which city are you in? So I'm going to answer the first question. Is the £12.50 taxed? So I mentioned in my last video that my agency pays me £12.50. That amount is per hour, so it's £12.50 per hour that I work. So if, for example, I do a 10-hour shift or a 14-hour shift, I usually do 14-hour shifts because I prefer long days. I like to do double shifts so that I know that my whole day I've worked instead of doing it in halves. Okay, so if I work for, let's say, 10 hours and I do a normal day shift, because if you do a weekend shift, night shift, bank holiday, it's higher. But let's say I do a 10-hour shift, it's a normal day, £12.50 per hour times 10, that will be £125 per day. So if I work 2 times a day, okay, that will be £250 at the end of the week. So if you work more hours in the week, you get more pay. You get it. So this amount of money is paid to me. For example, at the end of the week, I send in my timesheets on a Monday, and then they process it, and then by Friday, I get my pay. So that's how it works with my agency. Every agency will be different. If you're working in a permanent role or with the NHS, it might also be different. Usually the NHS or care homes, if you're working as a permanent staff, it tends to be lower. But because I'm working with an agency, that's why I get this amount. It also depends on which agency you are with. Some agencies pay £11, £11.50, but my agency pays £12.50 minimum. All right, so I hope I answered that question. The other question of when I got my GMC registration, how many applications I've done, I will answer that in my future videos. I will give you a rundown of my journey, of how I'm applying, getting a job, etc. I do have some good news in the pipeline concerning my job as a medical doctor, but stick and stay and I will give you that good news in my future videos. So one of the questions is, did you get any care certification to work as a care or support worker? So like I said, I registered with an agency, and so they trained me. So my agency gives 2-day training sessions to people who are new to care. So if you've never done care work before, they will give you a 2-day training, which is free. They don't charge you for it. If you want the certificate, you'd have to pay for it. But if it's just the training and you want to work with the agency, it's free. So with my agency, yes, you do need training and certification, but they will do that for you. So you don't have to go looking elsewhere for that. Like I said, it differs from agency to agency. Now, when you come to working for a care home as a permanent staff or a support home or the NHS, if you're doing any form of permanent role, you will need certain certifications. Some organizations will train you themselves. Others will expect that you have qualification or certifications elsewhere. So one of the very popular ones is the care standards. It's called the 15 care standard. So some jobs will require you to have done that certificate course. Don't panic, it's not something that's difficult to do. It's online, and for most companies, if you do it online, it's free. A few of them are like £5. I did one which I paid £5 for, and I got the certificate. So it's not expensive to do. It's something you can easily do if you need to. So that's the 15 care standard. That is like the basic one that most companies will require you to have. But some companies will also train you themselves. So the most important thing is to just decide on which company you want to work, whether you want to work in a permanent role or as a bank or agency staff, which means that you fill in the gaps that are left by the permanent staff who cannot make it. I don't know if you get it. And then you find out what you need to do. If the company says, hey, we are going to train you, perfect. If they say you have to get the 15 care standards, that's also very easy to do. So that's what it entails as far as certification goes. All right. The next question is, which agency are you working for? So I'm working for an agency called Nurse Plus. I've been working with them since March this year, and honestly, I've had a very, very good experience with them. I haven't had any issues. I've always had shifts. I've had very good support. I got a free uniform. I get a lot of shifts. I always get paid on time. The pay is good compared to other companies and other agencies from what I've heard and from the people that I've met. So yeah, that's the name of the organization or the agency I work with, Nurse Plus UK. When you Google them, you see that they are quite a big agency. They have so many branches all across the UK. And yeah, if you do decide to go with them, tell them Marigold Jablo sent you, okay? The most important thing I would say is to do your research. Look up these agencies, Google them, read reviews, okay? Because I'm saying that I've had a very good experience with them. Most people I know with them have had good experiences, but you still have to do your research and see if it's something that you would choose to do. But definitely, I would recommend them because for the past few months that I've been working with them, I've had an extremely good experience. So yeah, Nurse Plus UK. All right, so I got a number of questions about how to apply. How do you apply? Make a video on how to apply and etc. And it's not something I can exhaust in this video, and so I will be doing another video on the ins and outs of applying as a healthcare assistant, the different types of roles you can do, whether it's a permanent role or working with an agency. There are also some very fantastic YouTubers that do videos on this particular thing specifically, and I believe that they will be of greater help because they are like, that's what they do. I'm a doctor, and of course eventually I'll be starting my work as a medical doctor, but these YouTubers will be able to give you more insight on this, and so I will link their channels in the description box, so do well to follow them, watch their content, and I'm sure that you would have all the help that you need. Okay, YouTube is there to help you get all the information you need. You don't need to pay anyone to take you through the process. You can easily just go on YouTube and you get all the resources and the answers that you need. So I'm going to link them down below, but I will also do a video about it in the future, so please watch out for that. All right, so someone else asked, is HCA the same as carer? And the question is yes. Healthcare assistant, carer, support worker, domiciliary carer, Like, they are all carers, you know. They all do essentially the same thing. But like I explained in my previous video, exactly what they do depends on the level of care that the residents or the patients need. So you are basically doing the same thing. Of course, there are certain carers who have been giving additional training to give medications. Like for me, my agency gave me extra training to be able to give medications to the residents, okay? So you can upgrade, you can add on more things to your abilities. You can be trained to go up the ladder, to go up in terms of responsibility, but you essentially do the same thing, and that is taking care of people and helping them to do their day-to-day activities. So it's the same thing, it's really the same thing. However, there are different ways in which this job can manifest itself. There are different settings, there are different ways in which you can work. You may be a domiciliary carer where you go from house to house to help different residents, or you can be a live-in carer who actually lives and sleeps in the house of the person that you are taking care of, or you can be a support worker who goes to take care of them and then you have a closing time. And so they are like, it's the same thing, it's essentially the same thing, so please don't be confused, it's the same thing. Okay, so someone asked, is something wrong with your qualifications? Why don't you go to Qatar? I assume the person is referring to my qualifications as a medical doctor. There is nothing wrong with my qualifications as a medical doctor. In fact, I have my GMC registration, my GMC license to practice, which I had in March. And I have applied for jobs, and like I said, I have some very good news in the pipeline, which I will break to you very soon. You know, sometimes you just have to wait for the good news to mature. You get it, like for it to cook, for it to be ready to be served. So I'm just waiting on that, and I will let you know. But no, there's nothing wrong with my qualifications. I don't know much about practicing as a doctor in Qatar. My husband is also a doctor in the UK. So I don't think I will be going to Qatar anytime soon. And yeah, everything is on track for me with regards to working as a medical doctor in the UK, and I will be sharing that with you in the near future. So yeah, but thank you for that suggestion. Yeah. Another question that was asked, and this will be the last question that I will answer, is how many hours does a carer do in the week? So again, this will depend on so many factors, and I'm going to try as much as possible to explain it and to summarize it and make it very easy to understand. Now, it depends on, one, what visa you are on, what type of visa you are on. Why I'm saying this is because, for example, even though I'm a medical doctor, I am on a dependence visa. My husband is also a medical doctor, and so I came here on a dependent visa, okay? As a dependent, I can work unlimited hours. I can work 100 hours a week if I so wish. I can work 50 hours a week. I can work zero. I can work as many hours as I want, because that is the condition of my visa, okay? So if you're on a dependence visa, you can pretty much work unlimited hours. If you are on a tier 2 visa, that is, you've migrated to the UK as a carer, you will definitely be attached to a company, either an agency or the NHS or a care home. And that care home is going to give you contracted hours. So, oops, my camera nearly fell. The wind is quite tough today. So, the care home or the NHS or the company that you're working with will give you contracted hours. So this should be in your contract. So they may say something like 37.5 hours a week, 30 hours a week, 33 hours a week. So that means that they are supposed to give you minimum those number of hours. So if it's 37.5, they have to give you 37.5 hours in a week. And that will help you to calculate how much you are likely to make in a month, okay? Because that's 7.5 times 4 weeks, you know how much you're going to make in a month, okay? Now, of course, even if you are working with a company and you have contracted hours, okay, you will also be able to do extra shifts with that same company if you want. So you can pick up overtime, you can pick up extra hours. Now, if you are working solely with an agency, okay, solely with an agency, and you are not in a contract. So for example, I am working with an agency. My contract with them is 0 hours, which means I can wake up today and say, this whole week I'm not working. Maybe I want to go on holiday, in Jesus' name, amen. Maybe I want to go on holiday to Greece, and I say, well, from the 1st of July to the 8th of July, I don't want to work. And so they're like, okay, fine, you're not working. We're not going to book you any shifts for those days. When you come back, let us know. We'll get you shifts, okay? Then when I come back, I'm like, oh, I'm back. I'm ready to work. Do you have any shifts for me? And they can send me shifts. So I can work 0 hours one week and work 50 or 60 or 100 hours the next week, because I am not in a contract with them. I'm a dependent. I can work for as many hours as I like. I'm not in a contract with anyone else at this moment, okay? So that is how it goes, and those are the factors that influence the number of hours that you'll be able to work in a week. I really hope it's clear. Again, I'm going to link in the description box channels of YouTubers who are healthcare assistants who have been doing this for a long time, and they can give you more information, okay, about working as a healthcare assistant and all the ins and outs of it, okay. And I'm sure you have all your questions answered. If I didn't answer your question, like I said, I'm going to link below resources and channels of YouTubers who can help you more than I can. Because even though I've had this experience as working as a healthcare assistant, I am not a healthcare assistant. This is not something that I plan to do long term. And also, I did not move here as a healthcare assistant. I did not migrate here as a healthcare assistant. I didn't apply for jobs from my home country and come into this country as a healthcare assistant. I came here on a dependent visa, and I did healthcare assistant jobs because I needed something to do temporarily while I completed my process of working as a doctor in the UK. So I hope that is very, very clear. Again, thank you so much for all your love, all the comments, and if you want more content, if you want to follow me on my journey as I transition into working as a doctor, please stay tuned. And of course, don't forget to like, share, comment, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.